welcome to the When Calls the Hallmarkies podcast. I'm Rachel, and we are here to talk about the season premiere of When Calls the Heart. We're so excited. Amber is here with me.
Hi, everybody.
And we have our new co-host for this segment that we're doing. Ruth Hill is here with us. How does it feel, Ruth, that you have been on this podcast 4 times? This is exciting.
Actually, I was just telling one of my really good friends about the fact that this was my 4th time to be on here. Yeah. And he told me I need to keep being on here. That's what he said. So I'm going to take his advice, and I am very, very excited to be here. I'm glad you guys asked.
Oh, good. We're glad we have support of your friends and they're like, what are you doing on that podcast?
Yeah, we're really excited to have Ruth here. As you know, she's just a fount of knowledge and the best of us. So I'm just so excited. She's going to help elevate our game. It's going to be the best.
So, yes.
Now you guys are making me nervous.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I've got these big shoes to fill. No, it's good. It's good.
Okay, so let's get started. The season premiere aired this last Sunday. It's called Believing. And what were your guys' overall response to this premiere? Starting with Amber.
Starting with me. Okay, I actually I did enjoy it. I was very pleased that once again we got the courtroom stuff wrapped up pretty quickly, because I do not like having Henry Gowan trapped behind bars. As everyone knows, Henry Gowan's my favorite. So I was really pleased with that overall, and I could see that they were establishing some things that were going to happen this coming season. So I thought it was really good for a good jumping off point for the season.
What about you, Ruth?
I really enjoyed it. I felt like they were making some really smart insertions with various characters. It was great to see some characters return, some new characters. And what was really good, I do have a critic that sits next to me. My mother and I watch the show together. And I'm the easy critic. She's a fairly easy critic, but she is a harder critic than I am. She was not a fan of the Christmas movie. I heard that many, many times from her. And so we just kind of stayed away from that topic because she had some opinions about it that I didn't always agree with. What's nice is we both were able to come away saying that was a great season premiere, and the things that I liked, she agreed with. So it got past my mother. So if my mother likes it, then they're probably off to a pretty good start.
Oh, your mom, she just is the best. I love when your mom doesn't come, well, when she vicariously through you comes on the podcast.
And you should have her listen to our recap of a review of the Christmas episode, because we also weren't too high on it. So That was one of the funniest ones I think we've ever seen. Probably broke the Hardys' hearts, but we're real. We're real. Yeah. So for me, I thought it was a little slow, but that's just the show for me. But I did have some really fun moments, so that I enjoyed. So we will talk about it. So it starts off the episode with Bill making Leyland the acting sheriff. And this was pretty hilarious. And I totally, though, loved your tweet, Ruth, about Rosemary. If she had been the sheriff, that would have been like the funniest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that, Amber?
Yeah, I mean, Rosemary would have been a total boss, but I also really like that Lee was just sort of like, I'm not going to be like over enforcing and getting all up in everyone's business. I feel like maybe Lee Coulter is the only person in all of Hope Valley who isn't a huge busybody. It's super helpful to just have him exist, because at least there's somebody who's not like, well, it's obviously my business. It's happening within 100 yards of me. So I did really like that. And I love that his solution was like, just trap them both in a cage and like let them deal with it themselves.
Yeah.
the wisdom of Lee Coulter. Oh my.
Yeah, it was a brilliant move on the part of Bill. One of his more brilliant moves, I would say, on the course of the show, to deputize Leyland. And and it was really fun to see how excited Rosemary was about this.
Yes. You're going to go down in history as one of the best sheriffs, and I'm thinking, no. And I'm sure Lee was thinking, no, I'm really not going to, Rosemary. I'm just making it through till Bill gets back.
Because she's the greatest at everything. So of course she's gonna think that he will be the greatest at everything. Which is super cute. And I just died when she like made him the small breakfast.
Yeah. Yes.
It was like a muffin or something like that. It was so funny.
I feel like it was like, and a rotten apple.
Yeah.
She's the best. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Everything she does is so funny.
Oh yes.
And I don't know, and you just see him being like, "Oh wow," they're so great together. Just the way that he's just so unconditionally loves her, not in spite of her eccentricities, but because of them, and that's the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Marriage. So then we also get Abigail going to be a character witness for Gowan.
Woohoo! Character witness for Gowan!
And Bill being the opposite side of the for the prosecution. And so I agree with you, Amber, about that it was a good thing this just kind of got wrapped up in one episode. That was smart. And because it would have been super boring. Yeah.
Well, it was great to see Kevin O'Grady guest star.
As the lawyer.
Linwood, yes. I absolutely loved that. And the thing I really loved, and I tweeted this to him and he responded, is at first when I saw him, I was expecting Detective Linwood, him to act and have just the mannerisms of Detective Linwood, because that's how we always see him in Hallmark. We always see him doing all that stuff. But he really thought about the role and he did something different with it. And I thought that was really good. And he appreciated that I pointed that out, because he had really thought about the time period and wanting to really make it something different rather than just reprising Detective Linwood, how he would have been back in the early 1900s.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was super great. It was awesome.
Yeah, he was fun. Which mystery show is he on?
Garage Sale Mystery.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays. He's the one who's usually working with Laurie's character. Because he's her brother-in-law.
Okay, I've never seen one of those, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rachel hates mysteries and she hates solving mysteries. She just wants to have everything fed to her. She doesn't want to have to speculate.
I know.
I'm sorry, we all have genres that we like more than others.
That's okay. It's just a chance. If you take an opportunity to watch them, you might find that Laurie is so awesome in the Garage Sale Mysteries. As much as I love Laurie as Abigail, I think I even love her more in Garage Sale Mysteries. She has really grown, really made that character something very special and just lots of fun. And there's a lot more to mystery to just the mystery. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on. There's little romances here and there. There's little family issues, and so it's about her family as well. And it's fun. I of any of the mystery series, I love them all. But if I had to say which one I was going to recommend to especially a non-mystery fan, Garage Sale Mysteries.
Cool. So did you guys buy the fact that Abigail would do this? Did it feel authentic to her character?
Absolutely. I bought that Abigail would do this because Henry is her secret one true love. Like, I don't care what anyone else says. They are end game OTP. They are made for each other because they're the best. And it's going to happen, Rachel. You watch. You
Oh,
watch and you wait.
I totally felt it more this episode than I have even ever before. But she's like sending him scones and stuff. Yeah, I agree. I can see it. What about you, Ruth? What do you think?
Well, I think it makes sense that Abigail would do this because Abigail sees the good, as Bill pointed out, she sees the good in everyone. And no matter how bad the person is, she can always look for the good that's in that person. And so it makes perfect sense that she would do it.
So you're not an Abigail Gowan shipper?
I don't believe that they will ultimately be together, no. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm not gonna, because of course I don't know what the writers have in store.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not thinking of it.
Okay. I could even honestly see it happening this season because he's out of jail. She's just done this like super amazing thing for him. He said, I don't know what I did to deserve you believing in me. And they got the Mr. Pastor guy. He's gone. He's not on this season. So there's no other love interest for Abigail that we know of. So we'll see.
Plus, Henry Gowan is muy caliente. So.
All right. So, okay. So then we have another subplot starting with Julie arriving unexpectedly. And she tells Elizabeth, nobody respects me and I want to be respected. So I want to become a teacher. Will you let me be your apprentice? So, Amber, what did you think about having Julie back and this story?
It's funny, and I thought it was so funny when I tweeted this yesterday on Sunday, and I completely still agree with me. I was like, Henry Gowan's on trial, Julie's back, where is Marcus Rosner? Because it was season 2 all over again.
Yeah.
And I mean, wouldn't it have been so nice if like Julie and Charles fell in love? Wouldn't that have been a fun storyline?
Love it.
Instead, I don't even know. Whatever. But I like having Julie back. It's kind of fun to have some of Elizabeth's past always around. Also, I love the love triangle, you could call it, between Julie and Jesse and Clara. And my favorite part is that, like, why is it any of Rosemary's business to tell Elizabeth to have Julie back off from Jesse anyway? Even though it wasn't what it was, I was still kind of like, you guys, like, it's literally none of your business.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Rosemary's business because everything in Hope Valley is Rosemary's business. It doesn't make any difference what it is. Of course, when she told the entire list of how she had heard about what had been going on, I don't remember how many people had told this person who had told this person who had told this person. And of course, you don't want to tell anybody, but it's already spread all over the town. But yeah, Rosemary believes that everything is her business.
And to be fair, if everyone just did what Rosemary said, everyone would have really nice lives.
Yeah, I agree. I liked this too because even though it got a little boring at times, I think it was nice to see Elizabeth as more of a flawed character because she's a little judgy and she's a little bit rude about Julie, and she's just always so perfect that it was nice to see her grow a little bit and learn. Right.
I think it's nice to have Julie back. My mom really liked having Julie back. She thought that was one of the big strengths that she mentioned of the show last night.
It got the mom approval.
Wouldn't be the show last night, sorry, because it would be the show, we'll say the season premiere. I have to remember that. I really enjoyed seeing Julie come back because she's got so much excitement about life. She is artistic. And although Elizabeth is lots of fun and all that, she sometimes gets so caught up in what's going on that with her own life that she loses some of that excitement. And I think Julie helps bring back that excitement.
Yeah.
I think they play off each other really well. And so that was nice to see that. I think it's going to be fun to see where this ends up. I just wish that I should say, I hope at some point maybe it comes out what happened between her and Jack's brother, because the last we knew they were running off together, I thought.
Yeah. And that is something that I'm really happy about seeing Julie back, is because now some of the storylines that we just dropped and that we invested so much time in season 2, even if we don't see them play out in the show, we can at least get like a one-off line like, oh yeah, we didn't actually run away, we went home. Or like, oh yeah, Charles, he married Lady Angela from England, and when he moved over there, like, I hate when people just leave loose ends. You know how invested I am in secondary characters. And so when they just like literally were like, forget this that we've spent more than half of the season on, it drove me bonkers. But
the pastor, he's just gone. So,
yeah, I know. I think, but I don't even have to see them leave, but they can say something like, oh yeah, Pastor Frank, he went off to help the Mounties or something. Like, even if they don't show it, they can.
Yeah.
I think somehow they'll tie up the loose end about Pastor Frank. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I have this feeling that they will at least mention it, because it was mentioned in the Christmas movie, something about him being off somewhere, and I just have a feeling that somehow maybe there'll be a telegram, who knows, something, or some letter that they get. It wouldn't surprise me, just to tie up that loose end.
Yeah, I hate loose ends.
Yes. We should say that the Wigmageddon crisis of the Christmas episode is much better.
Yeah.
Do we agree?
100%.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you know, Ruth, how much I hated the wig. And I mean, I still have problems with them having their hair down, but whatever. I can stomach them having anachronistic hair down versus terrible, horrible wigs. Like, give me anachronism every day over whatever that wig was in the Christmas movie.
So that was good.
Yeah, it was a huge relief when I saw that her hair was much better. I was like, oh.
Give the Hardys some credit, because nothing drives me more crazy when like fandoms are just like complete blind fandoms, and they just like approve everything that anybody does. So when I put up my poll, like, if it didn't bother you, that's totally fine. But if it did bother you, you pretend it didn't bother you, that's when I have issue. And I put up a poll, and I was so impressed how many of them were like, yeah, the wigs, woo! So that's good. That's being a good fan. Good fans are honest fans. Bad fans are just blind fans. So there you go. That's my speech. Okay, so we had a couple other subplots real quick. We'll go over. So we had, like we mentioned, we had Clara wanting to take a little break because of the anniversary of her husband's, of their wedding, of their wedding. And did that ring true to you? Did you buy that? Did you want a little break?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she acted the crap out of that scene. Oh man, I felt so bad for her. And I mean, I completely understand her wanting to take a break and process with her feelings. I mean, to some extent, I think after you lose a spouse, once it comes time to move on, you sort of feel like you're being unfaithful. I don't know this from personal experience, but that would just be my assumption. So I can completely understand, especially with it being an anniversary, that all those feelings would come back.
Yeah, I've heard that from friends, other people that have experienced that. It seems like it would be a natural feeling. Okay, so then you felt bad for Jesse too, poor guy.
Oh yeah, because even Jesse talking with Julie, he wasn't really. I am sure that he didn't think about the implications of whether Clara would see him. He's being Jesse. He's being somebody comes up and talks to him and wants to listen to him pour out his heart, and he feels like he can trust her. He just
Yeah.
And honestly, let's just be honest here. He would not be sitting there talking with Lee about his feelings, or Bill about his feelings. He wouldn't be doing that. Of course, it's going to be a woman that he would be talking to, because that's what he's trying to understand. He's trying to share his feelings. Most men don't want to hear other men share their feelings.
Well, and to be fair, it's not like there's a guidebook that like little break means this. You cannot talk to other women because that's little break. I mean,
right.
So, I mean,
it's a classic Friends situation. Ross and Rachel, they were on a break. He was allowed to talk to Julie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. He's just eating his beans like out, trying to, again, he sits there. What are you going to do? So, okay, then our other storyline in this episode was Dr. Shepard. All of a sudden, he starts seeing all of these people that have these stomach aches, and he is very fishy. It's very strange. And he realizes that they're all taking this tonic. And so it's Dr. Belmore's Miracle Tonic. And so he's very upset about this. And it turns out there's this peddler guy who has made this tonic. And so they have this back and forth. And he ends up like basically stealing the guy's wagon. And anyway, it goes back and forth between them. And I didn't love this storyline. It was a little drawn out for me, but when Opal comes in and she's sick, the fangs came out on me. I'm like,
yeah, I was so mad. Oh my gosh. Oh, I was like, if you mess with my Opal, I will get you. I will get you. I was really upset.
Yes, like there's nobody more precious than Opal. So you can't
get your tonic off of her. Get out of town. Like, so bad.
Yes.
So what did you think of this, Ruth?
Oh, I actually enjoyed the storyline because I enjoyed seeing the interaction between Dr. Shepard and Faith. I really enjoyed seeing that. Even the way that he was trying to show her what the bad ingredient was in the tonic. I enjoyed also seeing a postable actor playing the medicine man, whatever, the travel, whatever
guy. Yeah,
that guy. Because I right away recognized him. He's like, I think the character's name is Serge.
He's Igor.
Yeah.
On Sign Still Delivered.
Yeah.
And Serge. He's in 2? He's twins. Remember?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's twins.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is. And so I recognized him right away. I said, Mom, do you recognize this guy? He's from Signed, Sealed, Delivered. And so I had to tell her what part he played, and she kind of remembered. And then she started remembering him as she watched him more, and so that was fun to see. I always like to see the crossovers when you see somebody that you recognize from another series. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this actor, Chris Gauthier.
Something like that.
I recognize him. He was on Eureka for a long time, which was one of my favorite shows. So anytime he pops up on these shows, and apparently he must be Canadian because he's in all of them. Right. But he's so great, and so I think he does a great job. But I was so mad at him for hurting my Opal.
Yeah.
But I also, like you said, I did really enjoy the scene between Dr. Shepard and Faith, where they were doing like old-timey science.
Yes,
And
yes.
I hope that plays out sometime in the future where we're like have CSI Hope Valley. Like they have to like help.
That's what I tweeted out as I said that I thought they could do their own spin-off series. They could have you could have your own little medical series here, back in Hope Valley. That'd be interesting. But
Yeah, it would be amazing.
yeah. Well, I know that when I interviewed Andrea Brooks, who plays Faith, and I know that she said, and maybe that's why I noticed it so specifically, she said that she and Paul Green developed this shorthand between them over the course of the season, because ideally a nurse and a doctor should be able to read each other's minds. They should have little signals so that they know that this is what we do then. And so I thought, I was watching that scene specifically and thinking, that's probably what she's meaning, is that you start to see this relationship develop between them where he's got, they can do a lot of nonverbal communication between each other. And so I think that's kind of the beginning of that. And so I think there'll be more of that, because she said that developed over the season quite a bit. And she loves being in the infirmary. She just absolutely loves that, which is so funny because in her interview, I didn't realize till we were talking, but she talks about the fact that she used to be the person that would feel faint. She actually has had fainting spells. If someone would come in and talk about, they give some kind of medical presentation, she'd start feeling faint and she couldn't handle it. Oh, no. And how she's been overcoming that, because she talks about how in season 2 there was something she couldn't do. They actually had to have somebody else fill in and do it because she felt really queasy doing it. And now she's gotten to the point where she's beginning to overcome this. So that's kind of an interesting.
Well, they could totally use that in as an advantage. I mean, having a fainting nurse on When Calls the Heart, that would be perfect. I mean, come on. But yeah, it was good. And so we got this solution, like we mentioned earlier, with Leland forcing, Rosemary's very mad at Leland for putting Carson in jail.
The whole town's mad at him, and not just they're all saying, what if an epidemic breaks out? What if somebody needs surgery? What if somebody, they're all saying all these things. Yeah.
It's so good. And then and he just says, trust me, I know what I'm doing. And he has the peddler man and Carson stuck in the cell together, and they come to solution, like literally designing a new solution for this miracle drink. And there you go. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. Another thing that I really liked about this plot line is that it really allowed us to see all of the other secondary characters at least do something in this season premiere. Like, the Yost guy, he's sick. Hickam was sick, and then he got to be a deputy. It was pretty fun. I really enjoy it. And truth be told, Hickam is my maybe other favorite character. So when he gets to do anything, I'm so happy. And I want a love story for Hickam. Like, hey Hickam, Julie's available. Come on.
Right.
Well, I'm a little surprised that they are bringing on Allie Liebert as a love interest for Dr. Shepard, because you would think that Andrea Brooks and him might be something, or I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and actually, Andrea and I talk about this in the interview, because I didn't really talk about Allie Liebert. We mentioned that she was in some of the episodes. But the thing that I think we need to remember, while Faith has not had a good track record with men.
True.
She's had her heart broken more than once, it would seem like. She's engaged to somebody, she breaks it off because she wants to keep being a nurse. Yeah. She's kind of interested in Jack, but she knows that Elizabeth wants Jack, and so she has to back off. Then you have last season. She really got into this relationship with Sean. That's his name, isn't it? Sean? Is it Sean? Is that his name?
I don't know. Sometimes I just call him Niall Matter.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's not Niall Mater's character, but I think that's his character's name. But regardless, she had this. I mean, they got pretty far. They had a kiss, and
True.
that
Talk
was
about that.
something. As Andrea and I talked about Faith, that's something that meant something to her. It was clear that she was falling for this guy. Now this guy is gone. He's not there anymore. And so she's had 3 men that there's been some kind of interest in, and she got kind of far with a couple of them. So for her to jump straight away into another relationship might not be the best idea. Not that she might not have some interest in the town doctor. I think that I would venture to say there's going to be something that'll come about, but you also don't want her to jump in for the wrong reason. You don't want her to jump in because I've been hurt so many times. You have to give yourself a little bit of time to heal, to make sure that you know who you are and you're not going to sacrifice who you are to be with somebody else.
I also I kind of would appreciate if their relationship just stays like professional and friendly. That would be really refreshing because you don't really get to see that much on this show or really any show. So that I think that could be even fine.
Yeah.
Plus, I am definitely team Allie Liebert. I don't even care what the storyline is. I will be on her team.
The last part is the testimony of Abigail, and this judge is known as the hanging judge. And quite the reputation. And she testifies, and she is so powerful and so great, because we know that Abigail is just so powerful and so great. And so he gets 10 years with time served, and his parole is granted immediately. And he is told by the judge, "You have one last chance, Mr. Gowan. Don't make a fool of me." So, what did you think of that, Amber?
Well, I completely agree with, I believe it. Remember when we were talking about the Signed, Sealed, Delivered, where the guy was like going to go to jail for 1,000,000 years? And I was like, politicians don't go to jail for 1,000,000 years for stealing money. Are you kidding me? This I believe. 100% believe on this sentencing. And like people will look to this for precedent for the next 100 years, and that's why politicians will get away with it. But no, I mean, legally, I accept the judge's decision, but plot-wise, I really accept the judge's decision. And I mean, obviously we know, like, whatever Abigail is rooting for is what's going to happen. So I wasn't that worried. I was like, Abigail's on his team. He's free.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't going to side with Bill, let's be honest.
Yeah, I like you, I think I was actually surprised. I was expecting him to have to serve some time. I didn't figure that he would be gone completely from Hope Valley. They're not going to do that to Gowan. I mean, he's too important a character. You have to keep him around. As to whether he has changed 100%, I don't think he's changed 100%. I don't, but I think he is changing. And I think that Bill probably figures that Gowan will never change. I think he just has in his mind Gowan can't change. He's horrible, he's terrible, and he's always going to be that way.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I agree. That's definitely he's a black and white kind of guy there, Bill. So yeah, that's basically the episode. We do get an ending scene where Elizabeth lets Julie read the book to the kids, and she says, "I believe in you, Julie. I do." So there you go. Elizabeth learns to let Julie. And next week, and we will be back next week talking to give our recap, and let us know what you thought of the episode, any predictions you might have. in the comment section or just message us on Twitter, whatever works for you. And let us know what you thought. All the Hearties, we want to hear from you. Where can people find you?
You can find me, my website is mydevotionalthoughts.net. And if you look on Twitter and Instagram, my username is Ruth Hill 74. And then if you look at Facebook, you can search like My Devotional Thoughts and you'll find it.
Awesome. And we'll have the links for all that in the description section. So check that out. And Amber, where can people find you?
As always, I'm at Amber Brainwaves on Twitter, and that's it.
Awesome. And you can find me at Smiling Yellow Guest Girl on social media and at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and YouTube. So check that out. And we will be back next week. So we'll look forward to it.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.